Hello guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be latest news. If you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel, as always. So reports now coming out in relation to Jadon Sancho, as I have been updating you guys on a regular basis, of course, and the narrative's been going on about it now for the last 4 to 5 weeks, something like that as well, that Manchester United, have been heavily linked, with Jadon Sancho, and of course, we have got the financial power, to meet his valuation, of course, considering that we didn't invest back in January, considering that we're going to get around £200 million to spend this summer, of course, as well. And obviously, we're looking like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get the job on a full-time basis. We know it hasn't been officially announced as yet, but looking like he's going to get the job on a full-time basis. And of course, he's obviously discussing, about the club's summer transfer plans, of course, as well. So he has been, negotiating regularly, with Ed Woodward, about, what players, should come in, and, what players, should go in the summer as well. Obviously, Solskjaer has instructed the Manchester United board, to sell 3 players as well. So Solskjaer has obviously, named, and he's told Ed Woodward, the 3 players, to get rid of this summer, of course, as well. I think Solskjaer is focusing on attacking additions to the squad as well. I think his priority is to get, one of his priorities is to get a right winner to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. And Jadon Sancho, I think, would be a fantastic addition, if he was to come to Manchester United this summer as well. Reports have basically said, that the Manchester United officials have, met up, with Jadon Sancho's representatives over a 70 million summer transfer to Old Trafford as well. But recent reports, were suggesting now that Borussia Dortmund, do want around £100 million for Jadon Sancho. But it did say Manchester United, believe that we can land him for around maybe £80 million or something like this. But if this was, to process in the summer, and we were to come to an agreement to get Jadon Sancho this summer, obviously it would make him the most expensive English footballer ever. Obviously it would make him our most expensive signing as well, Jadon Sancho. And I think he'd be a fantastic candidate for Manchester United. He's only 18 years of age. He only broke into the England first team last year as well, but I think he actually does want the Manchester United move to Jadon Sancho because he prefers to move to England than France, because it's also said that PSG have also been interested in Jadon Sancho as well. But he's mainly a winner, and he shows that ability to attack. He scores goals, he provides that width very, very good, and I think he'd be great for Manchester United. So is Jadon Sancho the solution to Manchester United's problems? And I'd say yes, straight away. I think he complements our attacking line very, very well indeed, and he's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years now. He's grown, developed, and he's flourished fantastically well in Germany, to be quite honest with you as well. Obviously at the time, he was at Manchester City, he spent a couple of years with Manchester City, as we all know, did Jadon Sancho, but he never got into the first team with Man City. Obviously wasn't guaranteed to get regular football, first team football, week in, week out. And this is the majority of the reason why I left Manchester City and went to Borussia Dortmund, of course. And obviously, he has still got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022, of course, as well. But financially, Borussia Dortmund would make a huge profit on the player, because Borussia Dortmund only paid about £8 million in for Manchester City a couple of years ago as well. But we know that Manchester United, are heavily linked with him. Reports do say City do have a buyback option on the player, and City, inserted a buyback clause in his current contract. So if Manchester United were to come to an agreement to get him this summer, City would receive around 15% of the transfer fee or something like this, because reportedly City inserted 15% sell-on clause in terms of the deal, of course, as well. But we know that Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with the players. They did it with Aubameyang, 58, 59 million pounds are sold him. They sold Ousmane Dembele a couple of years back, for 105, 106 million pounds as well. But we do know Jadon Sancho isn't going to come cheap, but we do know that we've got the financial power, to meet his valuation, of course, as well. And it'd be a great addition, to Manchester United, of course, as well. But Manchester United have been heavily linked to him, and, he's attracted interest, from quite a few teams across Europe as well. But I think it could maybe take a bit, at least in the process of £80 million, to convince Borussia Dortmund to sanction him off, because Borussia Dortmund still know how much of an essential player he is to their team, of course, as well. So Man United have met up with his representatives, the officials of Man United have met up with his representatives over negotiating a 70 million summer transfer move as well. It could maybe take more than 70 million, but Manchester United, do want him, of course, and I think we've identified him as our number one summer transfer target, to be quite honest with you as well. But as we all currently know, I think Solskjaer himself wants around 4 summer signings, as he's basically, told the Manchester United board, of course. He's basically come out and he said, he wants to sell 3 players and all that as well. But we do know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is on the brink of getting the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, of course, as well, because reports coming out yesterday saying that Solskjaer is set for permanent contract negotiations. So reports are saying, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agent, is set to meet with Ed Woodward and Manchester United and all that over getting a permanent contract, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. Because obviously he's on the, the verge of getting the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, even though we know that Ed Woodward, still may want to recommend Pochettino to come in at the end of the season, and Manchester United, still possibly, considering a move from Mauricio Pochettino as well. And for a long time, he has been Ed Woodward's number one, as we all know. But we know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a much cheaper alternative. We'll only have to pay a compensation package of around £7-8 million to mould, to get Solskjaer on a full-time basis. Because initially at the moment we've paid £1.8 million, to get Solskjaer on a temporary basis, of course. But obviously, we've got a board that can invest, who Solskjaer wants to bring in the summer. Obviously, I think he's decided, what players he wants to sell in the summer as well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. And obviously, we do know, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the moment hasn't got a great managerial pedigree in terms of like winning any major honours and all that, because he hasn't won any major honours so far as manager, and he hasn't really got that managerial experience, of course, as well. He hasn't really had any long tenures. He had 2 spells with Mould, even though he won 2 Norwegian titles. He had a really short tenure with Cardiff. He spent a couple of seasons, as managing he spent a couple of seasons, managing the Manchester United reserve team as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So if he is to get the job on a full-time basis, which is looking very, very likely, he'll think ahead of the next 5 or 10 years or something like that, because we do know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now is in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, and obviously, buying into our history, of course, as well, because Solskjaer hasn't spent, since he's come in, because obviously Manchester United didn't spend any money in the January transfer window, of course, as well. But as I've already identified to you, the key areas, where Manchester United do need to strengthen up, of course, as well. But as I did say, it's essential that we're getting Champions League for next season, of course. So it's either we'll win the Champions League this season, and that'll obviously invest more money as well. Or obviously, if we don't win the Champions League, get in the top 4 and get Champions League for next season. So in that aspect, it makes us have more of a competitive summer transfer window. But there's quite a few teams going for that top 4, of course, as well. But yeah, Solskjaer the right man for Manchester United, in my opinion. He's on the brink of getting the Manchester United job, of course, as well. Man United wanted it officially announced before the end of this month, but now I think, we want to announce it before the end of the season, of course, as well. And he's done a really, really good job, he's done a really, really good job as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I currently said. I know he suffered back-to-back defeats, before the international break, but, I think overall, he's done a very, very good job, indeed. And he suffered a long tenure as a player, because he was a great player, don't forget, for 11 years was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under Alex Ferguson, of course. But yeah, I think he can take this team forward, and I still believe he can, to be quite honest with you, as well. And obviously, he knows the club inside out. But other players we know that Manchester United have also, been interested in as well, as Jadon Sancho. We do know defensively, because we definitely, need a centre-back, to be quite honest with you, as well. We need an experienced centre-back, and we need a world-class centre-back, because we haven't had one since the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand, because, when we had Alex Ferguson, they were fantastic, Vidic and Ferdinand as centre-back partnership, but we definitely need a world-class centre-back, obviously, we've looked at quite a few, defenders, to be quite honest with you, as well. We know, obviously, reports are coming out yesterday in the media as well, in relation to Harry Maguire. Obviously, he's been a Manchester United target. Obviously, he was one of Jose Mourinho's targets last summer as well. But obviously, we couldn't come to an agreement to get Harry Maguire last summer, because obviously, Leicester were reluctant, to offload Harry Maguire last summer, of course, as well. But Manchester United, were interested, of course. And Jose Mourinho at that time, last summer, had quite a few, targets who were interested in getting in. Obviously, he didn't get them signings he wanted. Obviously, the board weren't back in the signings he wanted to get in as well. And obviously, this is obviously due to that Jose Mourinho had bad disputes with the board. He had bad disputes, with quite a few of the top players as well. Did Jose Mourinho. So we had we had a poor, transfer. We had a poor transfer window last summer, of course, as well. Obviously we didn't invest in the January transfer window as well. But Harry Maguire's name has been mentioned. That Leicester City central defender. Reports have been saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has urged Manchester United, to actually go all out, to sign Harry Maguire this summer, and he's told this to Ed Woodward. And reportedly, it will cost Manchester United around £65 million, to get Harry Maguire this summer, of course, as well. I think he's open to the move, is Harry Maguire, to be quite honest, because I thing. He's a player that wants to play to the highest level. He's a player that wants to go to a team, that's capable of, challenging for trophies and obviously, winning trophies as well. And obviously, he may want to, play in Champions League football, Harry Maguire, of course, as well. But obviously, he's not going to experience this at Leicester City, of course, as well. I think he has, been at Leicester City a couple of seasons now. Obviously, he signed a new 5-year deal last season with Leicester, so he's under contract till 2023, to 2023. And I think, obviously, we've got the financial power, to double, Harry Maguire's current wages as well, because I think we can offer him in the region of around £140,000 a week. At the moment, Leicester, I think, is on around £70,000 a week, of course, as well. But Manchester United have showed an interest in Harry Maguire as well. He has been at Leicester a couple of seasons, but his performances this season have actually been impressive indeed. So he's Premier League proven as well. And do you think he'd be a good leader in our back line? Because we do need someone, that will go alongside Victor Lindelof, to be quite honest with you. So do you think Harry Maguire, would be the solution to Manchester United's problems? And do you think he'd address our defensive deficiencies? He's done well with Leicester. He's never played for the big club as yet, Harry Maguire, but it would be good for him to experience a big club, to see how he would blend in and see, how he would fit in the team and all that as well. Obviously, when he was back, when he was at Hull City, Harry Maguire, Manchester United, were interested in him then. Obviously, he actually began his career with Sheffield United as well. So reportedly, Manchester United, I think we are reviving our interest in Harry Maguire as well. Other defenders we know that Manchester United have been interested in as well, as they have been updating you on a regular basis. Is obviously Raphael Varane, and he's also been a Manchester United target as well as Raphael Varane. He's an absolutely world class central defender. Is Raphael Varane, and he's only 25 years of age, and it's absolutely incredible. What he's achieved in terms, the amount of appearances he's made, the amount of silverware he's won as a Real Madrid player as well. He's absolutely unbelievable indeed. But reports have been coming out, saying that he's considering his future at the Bernabeu. This was the reports stemming from France on this. Reports are saying that reportedly now he has told his teammates that he does want to leave Real Madrid this summer. Does Raphael Varane, of course, as well, because he has been there a number of years now. I think this is 8th season now with Real Madrid, is it? Raphael Varane, I think he must have won a host of honours. He must have won about 15, 16 major honours or something like that. I think he's made about 200 appearances in all competitions as well as Raphael Varane. And he's an absolutely world-class central defender without a shadow of a doubt. And that's incredible. He's only, 25 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him, don't forget. He's obviously never experienced the Premier League as well. And it would be good for him to come and experience English football. Imagine him and Lindelof in a centre-back partnership, that would be incredible indeed. Because Varane, he reads the game well. He's good in the air. He adapts every area of his game very, very well. He reads the game very, very well, as I just said. He's good. He's composed as well. And he's a world-class central defender, of course. And obviously, Zinedine Zidane's just been reappointed in, of course. And he probably wouldn't want to lose Raphael Varane, of course, as well. He wouldn't want to lose Raphael Varane. But reports are saying from Varane's perspective, he's considering leaving Real Madrid this summer as well as Raphael Varane. But yeah, as I did say, he actually began his career with France. In France, Raphael Varane, with Lens, where he'd risen up the youth system, but he only spent one season in the senior team, with Lens as well. So he has been at Real Madrid, since 2011. So he's been at Real Madrid about 8 seasons, or I think this is his 8th season. Or something like that as well, Raphael Varane's. But I think he's got a release clause in his current deal, and it's a staggering amount. It's quite a lot, to be quite honest with you. His release clause is about 431 million. Raphael Varane's as well. His contract he's still under contract with Real Madrid until 2022 as well. So Manchester United, may consider going for Varane in the summer as well. And other defenders were on Manchester United have been interested in him as well. And we do know, obviously, we've been interested in Koulibaly as well. And obviously, he's been Manchester United's main priority target, of course. And it's probably in the summer if Napoli, even just think about putting him for sale. It probably will take a bit in the process of maybe around 125 or 130 million pounds at least, to maybe convince Napoli, to do any business this summer, of course, as well. And obviously, Man United have been long admirers of Koulibaly. Obviously, we've been linked to him for the past couple of transfer windows, and obviously, we've been keen on getting him because he definitely, would address our defensive deficiencies, without a shadow of a doubt, of course, as well. Obviously, he's been at Napoli a number of years now, and he's grown, developed, and flourished, fantastically well, as Koulibaly, if I'm going to be quite honest with you as well. He must have been at Napoli since 2014. Napoli only paid £6-7 million for him from Genk, was it, back in 2014 as well. And I think he's made about 200 appearances, is it, for Napoli, something like that, since in all competitions, since he's been there as well. And he's a very, very good central defender, as we all currently know. And obviously, back in January, Manchester United, had 3 bids turned down. The recent one was £95 million. We had turned down for him as well. And obviously, we know he's going to take staggering amounts of money, to get Koulibaly, this summer as well. I think a few other teams have been interested. I think he said Real Madrid have been interested. Barcelona have been interested in Koulibaly as well. And obviously, he's 27 years of age, is Koulibaly, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. To quite honest, he's quite tall as well, which is very, very beneficial indeed. But recent reports I've read saying that he was happy at Napoli, he was fully committed to Napoli. He did say he was happy, he was attracting interest and all that, Koulibaly and all that. But I think he did say, he was committed to Napoli and he was happy with Napoli, of course. Well, but if we don't get Koulibaly in the summer, obviously, there's other alternatives, where we're going to look at as well defensively, of course. Well, but we have got a few targets, who we are interested, in getting to Manchester United this summer, of course. Well, and Koulibaly is actually still under contract, with Napoli until 2023, of course, as well. And other potential players, that Manchester United have been interested in as well. And we do know that reports came out quite 2 or 3 days ago, was it, as well, in relation to Antoine Griezmann, as I've been updating you about that on a regular basis, of course, as well. Reports are stemming from the Spanish press the other day saying that reportedly Manchester United are reportedly the favourites to sign Antoine Griezmann this summer. After reportedly Antoine Griezmann said he wants to leave Atletico Madrid this summer. Reportedly he wants to leave Atletico Madrid this summer, because I think he's increasingly, become frustrated, with his time in Spain now as Antoine Griezmann, to be quite honest with you. And obviously he wants to play to the highest levels, Antoine Griezmann, and obviously a player of his calibre and a player of his level, wants to be up there, challenging for major honours and winning major honours. And he hasn't really experienced this at Atletico Madrid, to be quite honest with you. I know he's won the Europa League and he's won the Super Cup with Atletico Madrid. I think this is his 5th season now in the process, of Atletico Madrid. And obviously he spent the entirety of his playing career in Spain, of course, as well. 5th season with Atletico Madrid now, began his career with Real Sociedad as well, did Antoine Griezmann, of course, as well. And obviously, Manchester United, were on the verge of getting him a couple of years ago, as we all know. But obviously, at the time we had number 7 vacant and we wanted someone, to fulfill that number 7 role. Griezmann was the perfect option at the time. And it was looking like we were going to get him. But obviously, due to the Atletico Madrid's transfer ban, this stopped Manchester United, in the process, getting the pursuit of Antoine Griezmann. But at that time, he wanted to come to Manchester United, of course, as well. But obviously, as we all currently know, Manchester United are reportedly the favourites to sign him. I think Barcelona now have called their interest in him, because obviously he turned down the opportunity, to join Barcelona last summer, did Griezmann as well, because obviously he decided to remain loyal, to Atletico Madrid, and he ended up signing a new contract until 2023. So last summer he signed a new 5-year deal with Atletico Madrid, did Griezmann as well. And obviously it says Manchester United are the favourites to sign him. He would be a great addition, to Manchester United. He scores goals, he'd be a great addition to the team. He leads the lines very, very well. He's a great efficient finisher, and he may want he may want to come and experience, English football, Antoine Griezmann, of course, as well. But obviously, he's got a release clause of around £171 million, as Griezmann as well. But reports have been coming out saying that reportedly his release clause will reduce by about £70 million this summer. So his release clause will drop this summer, and I think his release clause will be about £100 million this summer as well, Will Griezmann. So obviously, in that aspect, it's obviously going to be more increasingly likely that he's going to leave Atletico Madrid this summer as well. I think he's still maybe keen on a move to Barcelona, Griezmann. He's talking about, Griezmann's been talking about, his ambitions, to be up there winning honours and, challenging for honours. And at Barcelona, he would have been experiencing that, of course, as well. So I don't understand why really he turned the opportunity, to join Barcelona last summer, of course, as well. But I think it'd be great to come to Manchester United. And don't forget, he's got a great friendship with Paul Pogba. He's French as well. And obviously, we know that Martial's also to French as well. He's not been a priority for Manchester United, but he's a Manchester United summer target, as reports were mentioning as well in the media. We do know reports have been coming out about Philippe Coutinho as well, guys, as we all currently know as well. And, the narrative's been going on about that, since January, of course, as well, in relation to Philippe Coutinho. And I don't think Manchester United are keen on signing Coutinho, even though I think Solskjaer's pinpointed out and he's indicated, that he would like to bring an attacking midfielder to Manchester United. And Coutinho is an attacking midfielder, and he can also play as a winger as well, but I think he's mainly an attacking mid. But he's not one of Manchester United's priorities, is Philippe Coutinho, even though we know there's been rumours going on, you know, he's been linked to a move to Manchester United as Coutinho and all this, because obviously he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Barcelona player. You know, he's been at Barcelona, you know, just over a year, as Philippe Coutinho, as we all know, about 14 months, and he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United, he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time, sorry, as a Barcelona player, as Philippe Coutinho, as I said, he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time. You know, he's failed to replicate the form, you know, he did at Liverpool, because he did have 5 great years with Liverpool, did Philippe Coutinho, as we all know as well, but I don't think my club, Manchester United, are interested in signing Coutinho. It probably would cost in the region of maybe 68, 70 million pounds reportedly as well, because Barcelona are not going to recoup the initial 142 million pounds. You know, they paid for him from Liverpool back in January of last year, of course, as well, but he's just struggled to fit under Barcelona's system. You know, he's been very inconsistent. You know, he hasn't been getting that game time, you know, he would have liked, so he hasn't been getting that regular game time, Philippe Coutinho as well, and obviously he's the third most expensive player in world football, you know, don't forget, you know, behind Neymar and Mbappe, and of course, as we all know as well, there has been some kind of like Manchester United in January, you know, approached Coutinho's representatives, as we all know, as well. And obviously, he did reportedly say Coutinho spoke to some Manchester United players, you know, regarding a potential move to Old Trafford this summer and all that, and saying that Coutinho's interested in a return to the Premier League and all this as well. But I don't think Manchester United, you know, are interested in signing him. And even though, you know, there's still been rumours, you know, going on about it as well. And other players we know that, you know, Manchester United have also, you know, been interested in as well. We still know that we're keeping tracks on that Joe Felix as well, and we do know that he's been mentioned. No, obviously, you know, Joe Felix is a winger as well. Again, only 19 years of age is Joe Felix, and he's got, I think his buyout clause is it around 105 million pounds. You know, his buyout clause, you know, Joe Felix as well, and he's only 19 years of age. He's mainly a winner, but he's versatile. He can play in other positions as well. And Manchester United have expressed an interest in him. I think a few teams have expressed an interest in Joe Felix as well, but I think Liverpool have been interested, United have been interested, Man United have held negotiations with Benfica over a potential move, you know, for Joe Felix as well. But I think Man United have instructed scouts, you know, to keep a close eye out on Joe Felix, of course, as well. So Man United scouts, you know, have been watching him on a regular basis, because reportedly his performances have been impressive indeed, and he only broke into the Benfica first team last year as well, you know, did Joe Felix. So his name has also, you know, been mentioned in the media as well. But he's attracted interest, you know, from quite a few teams, because we need to get maybe a couple of young players in the summer, of course, as well, you know, Manchester United, of course, you know, because obviously it does seem to be a lot of the experienced players that are causing us problems, and definitely that right hand side needs addressing. We need, you know, we need a young, ambitious player on that right hand side, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. So that's mainly, you know, transfer rumours, you know, that are going on. But the main one is Jadon Sancho, of course. Now, reports do mention that Manchester United officials have met up with the representatives of Jadon Sancho's, you know, to probably negotiate a £70 million summer transfer, of course. Well, I think he wants to make the move to England over France. And I think he's interested in making a move to Manchester United, is Sancho as well. And if we were to, you know, it could still cost us in the region of £100 million, because Borussia Dortmund may not even accept 70 or £80 million a May, because it did actually say the other day they was demanding, they wanted around £100 million for Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. But he's my number one, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you know, to, you know, come in, you know, to Manchester United, of course, as well, because he's a really, really good player. But as I did say, you know, we do know that players, you know, will be leaving Manchester United, of course, as well. And Solskjaer's basically said, you know, the 3 players, you know, that he wants sold from Manchester United this summer. He's told Ed Woodward, you know, to get rid of Valencia, Marcus Rojo, and Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. Valencia's on his way out of Manchester United, of course. Initially lost his place, now in the team anywhere. You know, he's 33 years of age. You know, we haven't triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, and he's on his way out of Manchester United. He'll probably leave on a free transfer in the summer, you know, with Antonio Valencia, of course. Well, this is 10th season at Manchester United. You know, he has made over 300 appearances in all competitions as well. And over the years, he has been essential as Antonio Valencia, of course, because he has been here since 2009. He's won everything here domestically, but, you know, he's way past it now. And he's obviously out at the moment with a calf injury as well. So he's on his way out. He's Valencia. Ashley Young, I don't think he probably won't leave in the summer, to be quite honest. We will probably wait, you know, until his 1-year contract extension, you know, expires. And by the time it does expire, you know, he'll be nearly 35 years of age, you know, will Ashley Young as well. So anyway, he'll be coming to an end of his playing career. But he's far too old now, Ashley Young. We know mainly he's our first choice right back, Ashley Young, you know, to be quite honest with you. But, you know, to be quite honest with you, He's far too old now, he's Ashley Young. He was good back in the day, when he was younger and all that. And he has been essential over the years because he's been here for a long time now, as Ashley Young, of course. He's been here about 7, 8 years now, of course, as well. And Marcus Rojo, yeah, I think he's definitely on his way out of Manchester United, as I said, enjoyed a difficult time here as a Manchester United player, with a string of injuries, he's suffered and all that, which is obviously, struggled for him, to get a run of games under his belt as well. So I think he's on his way out, is Marcus Rojo, just actually, recovered from injury, because he's been injured, for quite a long time as well. So yeah, I think he's on his way out in this summer. I think Solskjaer wants him out in the summer as well. And Marcus Rojo, Bay's future is still uncertain as well. Eric Bays, because he's been in and out of the team this season, as I currently said, even though I still rate him, and he has got great potential as Eric Bay, of course, as well. And Sanchez is definitely on his way out of Manchester United this summer, without a shadow of a doubt, because I think Solskjaer's lost faith in him, and he's lost trustworthy in Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. And he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player, as Alexis Sanchez. Again, I think he's been here, 14 months now with Sanchez, to be quite honest here. And when he has played and when he has been given the opportunity, he's been very, very disappointing. He's lacked disciplinary and everything. And he just looks so restricted. It just looks as though, he hasn't been getting the freedom, when Sanchez, has been given a chance, and when he has currently played, he's lacked goals. And he just hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, to be quite honest here as well. And obviously, Solskjaer's considering selling him in the summer. We do know it's going to be hard to find a buyer, for Alexis Sanchez, considering his substantial wages he's currently receiving, which is obviously over £500,000 a week as well. So obviously it's going to be hard to find a buyer, for Sanchez, and he's been here as well. And I can't remember him ever suffering an injury for Arsenal. I don't think he suffered many if he did, but he's only been at Manchester United just over a year, and he's already suffered a string of injuries. I think this is his third injury now he's suffered as a Manchester United player. He's now out with a knee injury, is Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. So I think, Man United may consider sanctioning him out on loan in the summer, or, we might have to, Sanchez, and we could actually, sanction him off permanently, if Sanchez is willing to take some kind of wage cut or something like that as well. But he's definitely on his way out of Manchester United. As we do know as well, reports were coming out a couple of days ago as well in relation to Ander Herrera, as we all know as well. I actually updated you about this yesterday. Reports were coming out a couple of days ago about Ander Herrera. That reports were coming out from the media saying that reportedly PSG had expressed an interest in Ander Herrera reportedly, and some media outlets actually were explaining that reportedly Herrera was close to joining PSG on a free transfer of course, because obviously he comes to an end of his contract at the end of the season, does Ander Herrera as well. Obviously Manchester United in the process of being in talks of getting Ander Herrera a new contract at Manchester United of course as well. But some reports were saying he was close to joining Paris Saint-Germain, but then some reports are coming out from ESPN and all that saying that he wants to stay at Manchester United, does Ander Herrera, so he does want to remain loyal at Manchester United despite PSG's interest. And I think Ander Herrera is still keen on signing a contract extension with Manchester United of course as well. And we do know Ander Herrera, this is his 5th season now as a Manchester United player of course as well. And we do know how much of a consistent player he has been for Manchester United, of course, Ander Herrera. I know so far so far in his tenure as a Manchester United player, he has suffered some rough patches. There's times where he hasn't been getting enough game time, like he would have liked, and he wasn't definitely getting this under Jose Mourinho, of course, as well. But since Solskjaer's coming, Ander Herrera's form's been rejuvenated. He's adapting his game very, very well. He's breaking up the play very, very well, and he's been fitting in that midfield trio fantastically well as Ander Herrera. Alongside Matic and Paul Pogba and all that. That's obviously been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's number one midfield trio. But obviously in most recent weeks, considering the string of injuries we've had and all that, it also obviously has allowed opportunities for the fringe players of the likes of, Andres Pereira and McTominay. And to be quite fair, they've been very, very impressive indeed, McTominay and Andres Pereira, of course, as well. But PSG obviously, want investment this summer themselves, of course, as well, because obviously they're probably identifying, they're probably indicating Herrera as a good replacement, for Adrien Rabiot, of course, as well, because Adrien Rabiot's on his way out of PSG this summer. Obviously, he's refused to sign a new contract with PSG as Adrien Rabiot. Obviously, PSG have withdrawn him, from the PSG squad as well, and he comes to an end of his contract at the end of the season. He spent the majority of his career, with Paris Saint-Germain, and he's still only young as well, as Adrien Rabiot. Obviously, reports coming out a while back saying that he's supposed to be joining Barcelona this summer. Adrian Rabiot, as well as it did actually, reportedly say as well. So, but there's been a few teams, that have expressed their interest in Adrian Rabiot as well. But it did say PSG reportedly I've offered, Ander Herrera, I've offered Ander Herrera in wages of around £150,000 a week or something like that, plus a 3-year deal, as he did mention him as well. So it did say PSG have offered £150,000 a week and a 3-year deal reportedly as well. But I think despite that, I think he still wants to stay at Manchester United. Does Ander Herrera, of course, as well. So there are reports coming out about that, yesterday, day before, and all that as well. The first I heard about him was actually, yesterday morning, to be quite honest with you, as well as what I read about him all as well. Obviously, Paul Pogba as well. He's been one of our most influential players, as Paul Pogba, as well, as we all currently know, guys. We know that reports coming out, quite a few days ago saying that reportedly, he was mentioning Real Madrid. He says he classed Real Madrid as a dream club, and he dreams playing for Real Madrid and playing, for Zinedine Zidane and all that as well. But I think at this moment in time, he insists, and Paul Pogba, that he's still happy as a Manchester United player, of course, as well. And obviously, I think he would have left Paul Pogba, if Jose Mourinho still would have been in charge, because obviously the bad disputes, Mourinho and Paul Pogba had of course, as well. But since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, Pogba's getting the best out of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer's getting the best out of Paul Pogba as well, which is very, very good indeed. And when he's playing in this kind of vein, he's one of the best midfielders in world football, without a shadow of a doubt. And we know before there were talks about him going back to Juventus, where he had 4 great years. There were talks about him, maybe going to Barcelona, because Barcelona had also, showed their interest in Paul Pogba as well. But obviously, he's our most expensive sign. We paid £89 million, for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. But I think he's better in more of an attacking midfield position, because he provides good service to the front man. He plays them delicate passes, and all that as well, does Paul Pogba, and he scores and provides, as I currently said, as well. So hopefully we can come to an agreement of actually, getting Pogba a new contract, of course, because his current deal, ends in 2021. So hopefully somewhere along the line, Manchester United and Raiola, his agent, can come to some sort of agreement of getting Pogba a new contract at Manchester United, as well. So yeah, my guys, that's mainly everything to update you with today, guys. As I currently said, and as I did say, the main part of this video is in relation to Jadon Sancho. Guys, I did want to give you an update on reports have been coming out saying that reportedly Man United officials have met with the representatives of Jadon Sancho over 70 million summer transfer move. I think he's interested in making the move to Manchester United as well. He's Jadon Sancho, which is very, very good news indeed. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, more things are going to update about it, of course, as well. But as we all know, it's looking like Solskjaer's going to get the job. Solskjaer's is in regular contact with Ed Woodward, making plans for the summer transfer window. What players, to bring in, what players, are going to leave them, and all that as well, and what, what obviously, as well, what players, should stay. So yeah, he's already making plans, he's all going to Solskjaer, but we definitely know investment is needed into Manchester United this summer, without a shadow of a doubt, and probably we do need at least maybe 3 or 4 players, if we are going to be competitive in the new season as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing to my channel as always, guys, and take care, God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.